Hey, everybody. Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd. Hope you're doing well. And it's time for our weekly track roundup, where I go over what I felt were the best and worst tracks of the week, songs that I got to shout out, songs that I got to shoot apart. But before we get into that, we have to shout out our sponsor. Of course, we are doing another sponsorship with Marlin from Gangster Doodles, who has re-upped over here. Support this freaking new hardcover book from my dude over at Gangster Doodles, who you should look up on freaking Instagram. He draws like these little post-it note portraits of many faces and icons from the art world, from the rap world, from pop culture, just all over the spectrum. And there are tons of cool, again, illustrations throughout this hardcover book. There's Danny Brown right there. There's like Skrillex. And again, this is like a nice hardcover book. There's Action Bronson right there. And something that I wasn't able to show you guys last time because it was the first time I was opening the book, but I told you guys it was in here, and it is in fact the case. There's yours truly. So your melon is in there as well. Your melon's in here. Haha. And it's a very nice smelling book. And it has these nice little ribbons as well. You save your spot. So, you know, if you're in here, you save your spot. And again, hardcore cover book is beautiful. We have a foreword from Jeff Jankin here and an introduction written by Shia LaBeouf. And yeah, you know, it's just kind of a nice little colorful, I don't know. I don't want to say coffee table, but, you know, because I feel like that's almost like a little bit beneath this book. But, you know, if you like yourself a nice little artsy-fartsy art book, on whatever table it is you break up your dank weed nugs, then pick up this book then. All right, man. I've been flipping through it. I've been showing it to my wife. She loves it. I love it. It's very colorful. It's very pretty. It's very cute. And definitely one of the more fun art books I've come across. So again, shout out to Gangster Doodles. The link to pick up this book is down there in the description. We'll link to Marlin's Instagram page as well. You should follow him up. He's great. All right, guys. Let's get into first our Amazon Associates link. We have that. Hit up that in the description box. Anything you buy on Amazon, if you live in the U.S., once you have clicked on that link, we get kickback from it. Does not add to your overall price. We have a similar thing going on with the good people over at Turntable Lab. Turntable Lab is an online store where you can buy colorful pressings of records I've reviewed and audio equipment, turntables, speakers, that kind of thing for your budding record collector. And also, I'm going on tour, speaking engagement tour, East Coast and West Coast dates. I don't know if you've seen this poster yet. If you haven't, you're friggin' up, man. Just check out these dates, man. Seattle, Oregon, San Francisco, LA, San Jose. We're in Brooklyn. We're in Allston, Massachusetts, and we are in Hamden, Connecticut this October. So hit up the link down there. Get tickets. They're all selling pretty well so far from what I see. I'm going to be there. Culture Chest is going to be there. We're going to do music stuff. We're going to do Q&A. We're going to do meet and greet. There's going to be a mix of kind of, you know, memes, lecture, and just all around silliness. And let's get into the worst tracks of the week, everyone, without any further ado. Whew. There's some bad ones this week, guys, so I'm kind of dreading flipping on over, but hey, you know what? We got to do it. Let's do it. Ooh, deep breaths. Ooh, deep breaths. Someone's texting me. All right. Okay. Just. Okay, let's go. Noah Cyrus, again, new song featuring XXXTentacion. God damn, the industry is just forcing this guy's down everybody's throat. This song is awful. The song is like literally trash. It is garbage. The only thing I really like about this song is the instrumental, which has some really kind of quirky, weird, glitchy edits. But Noah Cyrus, I don't know who influenced her to sing or start releasing some singles, but her voice is really generic and not special in any way whatsoever. Like, she has some decent singing fundamentals, but there's really nothing about her singing voice that's all that interesting. And it's kind of weird for her to almost go into a pop, trap, rap direction mix now that her sister has kind of abandoned and sort of left that sound entirely. And X on this track, oh God, he's kind of singing in this really whiny, wimpy vocal that's kind of cringy, and I don't know, man. Like, I feel like you can't portray yourself as this really edgy guy that doesn't play well with others, and you're totally different than any other artist, and you don't gel with the rest of the rap game. You know, you're taking down the false prophets. You don't play well with others. You're smarter than the average bear. But then all of a sudden you're on a Noah Cyrus track. Like, come on, man. We're supposed to take you seriously as you know, again, the Lord of Darkness here. Come on, give me a break. This song is garbage. Along with this new Niall Horan song. Now, it's not total trash. The thing is, it's just kind of generic pop and acoustic rock, much of what he's been delivering so far, but instrumentally it seems a little bit more fleshed out, a little bit more dense, but it hasn't made his songwriting any more enticing, honestly. Like, what he's doing with his solo career is just so run-of-the-mill and so average. There's really nothing to speak of, really. It's really underwhelming. And, of course, I'm not really that much into the new Miley Cyrus track, Week Without You. Of course, I have to say the new Niall song is titled Too Much to Ask. But again, Week Without You. Really annoying country tinged pop rock here, and for whatever reason on this recent crop of tracks, Miley's voice is annoying me even more than usual. It's like there's kind of a rawness to it that wasn't there in her earlier years, where her vocals were just a little bit more dolled up. These days it kind of feels like they're just sort of letting that foghorn quality of her voice just ring out there uninterrupted. However, her voice isn't that deep. It's kind of like a little foghorn. And it's pretty annoying, and it's really not pleasurable to listen to at all. However, not quite as annoying as the new Boogie Wit Da Hoodie single, Say A, which has one of the most tedious lead melodies of any of these kind of glitzy, glamorous, melodic trap ballads that I've heard in a long time. Really redundant song, although I am loving that the single cover art here is kind of reminiscent of Teenage Girl Squad from Homestar Runner. And there you go. Those are the tracks that I thought were the worst tracks of the week. Get these tracks out of my face, especially this one, which, again, to me, hot garbage. All right, songs that I was met on, tracks that I wanted to shout out. I wasn't crazy about them, but I wanted to, at least make you guys aware of them. Young Lean, new song out. I'm surprised at how much I'm either liking or tolerating this recent output from Young Lean. Like, it's not anything that much different than what he typically does. You do have the spacey trap instrumental. You do have the auto-tune on the vocals. You do have the somewhat lazy singing. However, I feel like his song structure and I feel like his sense of melody is so much more on with these couple of new tracks than they have been in the past. So I don't know, man. It's pretty catchy what he's been doing lately, and I'm looking forward to potentially listening to a new album from him and maybe kind of hearing him grow a bit stylistically as an artist. But again, I am kind of enjoying this new song titled Hunting My Own Skin. Digging on this new Wu-Tang track, which also features Redman like the previous track did. Not quite as fiery, but certainly a boom bap banger with some decent verses, some decent flows and vocal performances. I dig it quite a bit. The new... Okay, this is kind of a weird special thing here. The band Beach Slang, a member from Beach Slang, is kind of splitting off, and I just dropped something, and is recording music under the name Quiet Slang, and has a new EP coming, and apparently it's like reworks of other songs, and this track that I wanted to point you guys to, 13, is a Big Star cover, and it's a pretty cool cover. So I'm pretty much shouting out this cover song over here. So Quiet Slang, aka Beach Slang, Beach Star cover, new EP, reworked songs. This one, it's pretty good. Give it a shot. It's very pleasurable. Sticks to the piano and kind of the 70s vibe of the original track, but a little bit more mellow and a little bit more, I guess, kind of blissful and relaxing. Got to give a shout out to Danielle Bergoli, who before I think I've referred to as Bhad Bhabie, although it is Bhad Bhabie. And This new song, Ha Bitch, Ha Bitch, Ha Bitch, I actually think is kind of fun. Like, it's obviously trash, but at least it's fun trash. And seriously, like, people are freaking the fuck out in the hip hop community about the fact that she is gaining so much attention. She's getting signed to Atlantic Records, and, you know, oh, she's not a real rapper. She's not a real this. She's not a real that. Listen to what she's doing on this track and tell me straight to my face that she isn't living up to the standards that pretty much every other low-grade world star hip-hop trap rapper isn't living up to right now. She is. They have set the bar low. So when you set the bar low, a teenage girl with a record contract can step in and just be like, that's easy, I can do that. You made it too easy for everybody to step in the door, and that's why you have this situation. So if you don't like this, fucking raise the bar higher. Stop being a baby. Stop crying. Stop being a baby. Stop being a Bobby. Because if you don't raise the standards higher, you're going to have more Bhad Bhabies. You're going to have more Jake Pauls. And it's going to get to a point where they're going to beat you out. Because honestly, at the end of the day, a Danielle Bregoli or a Jake Paul are more marketable than you. Okay, so they're taking your sound and they're more marketable than you because, you know, she's a bratty teenage girl. And Jake Paul is a Disney kid. Okay? Like, wake the fuck up. Seriously. So raise the bar. Do it better. Improve. Evolve. Change the landscape on which they have to compete with you on. You know, change the sound. Do something new. Do something different. Because if you don't, you're just going to have a bunch of this shit. Which, honestly, in comparison with a lot of what is supposed to be, you know, real in this particular sound or this particular style, she's not really doing it any worse. You know, it sounds really snobby. It sounds really, it's like, you know, really catty. Some of the verses are okay. You know, some of the bars are sort of funny, you know, some decently funny one-liners on here. The cinematography on this thing is hilarious and immaculate. I don't know what else you want, guys. You set the bar too low, and Danielle Bregoli is stepping in because you've made it too easy. All right, so dug that single a bit. That single was kind of fun. And I like the new Baths track over here. It's been a while since we've heard from Baths, unfortunately, and I don't know why it's taken this long, but you know, this is a cool little fun bit of art pop mixed with beat music. You know, definitely not the sound that he was indulging in on his past couple of records, but it has been a while, so it's taken him a bit to sort of evolve to this point, I guess. And yeah, you know, it's a nice little alternative pop ballad. Some quirky production here. The vocals did rub me the wrong way a bit, but in the context of an entire album, his very strange and you know, somewhat left field vocal style could grow on me for sure. But again, that Bath song, Yeoman, definitely hit that up down in the description. All right, here are the tracks that I thought were the best tracks. Got to give a shout out to the best tracks. New Screaming Females track over here via Don Giovanni Records. Big shout out to Don Giovanni. They always drop some decent stuff. And this track is titled Black Moon. And this is a bit of a change of pace for the Screamales. It's really kind of the vocal harmonies and the driving guitars and the not so much punky, but much more like anthemic rock style that the band is going for here. But they still kind of bring that throttling, driving energy that you expect from a Screamales track. It's pretty good. So, you know, definitely liking the fact that, you know, they still play their instruments with a lot of guts. The songwriting style here seems to have matured a little bit more. And again, those vocal harmonies, they're great and they really kind of sell the track. New Rapsody track over here. It is from her new album, which I am going to be reviewing very soon, so I don't want to talk too much about this track, but I do want to give it a huge nod and endorse it and make you guys aware of the fact that Rapsody does have a new album out. This track that is linked down there below is titled Power. It features Kendrick Lamar and Lance SkIIWalker. Apparently she got the 2-for-1 Top Dog Entertainment deal on this track with the features. And yeah, this is a really great track. It's one of the highlights from the album for me, and I am going to be reviewing it very soon. It's really, really good, guys. Do not miss this one. Do not let this album slip through the cracks for you. It is a great record. It is definitely one of the better rap records I've heard this year. So I'm kind of spoiling my opinion a bit early here, but I do want to make you guys well aware because I feel like this album could be getting more hype. And I feel like to only just praise this album in a review and in a review only would not be enough. I want to hype it a little bit more in the best tracks over here and tell you guys this is a great record already. Great album. Give it a listen. One of the better rap albums of the year. This new track over here, Metro Boomin, featuring Travis Scott, titled Blue Pill. This, to me, is one of the better tracks that I've heard from Metro Boomin and Travis Scott in a while. Like, it is the really spacey, intoxicating, sexy, and super catchy vibe that I enjoyed so much from Rodeo, but sort of encapsulated in this one non-album single. I hope it ends up on an album or a tape somewhere, especially if it were to end up on a Travis Scott project. I do think it is a fantastic track, and I would like to see Travis Scott go back in this direction a little bit more. You know, the structure on this track is interesting. The melody is sticky instantaneously. The production is great. Travis Scott's vocal performance is good. Like, so many good things about this track. It's a shame that it's just kind of a song that seems to be just haphazardly thrown out there. Hopefully it sort of finds a home on a larger project later and is indicative of some kind of direction for one or both of these artists going forward. But yeah, this is a really great track. You know, one of those deep, dark, murky trap ballads that are really soulful and very, very, very demonic almost in a way. And speaking of demonic, shout out to Marilyn Manson, who has a new track out titled Kill For Me. New album on the way very soon. Link this track down there in the description, along with all these other tracks. But, you know, specifically this song I want to mention because I do think it is great. Really good tune, not as obnoxious or underwhelming in points as his last single. Really kind of straightforward alternative metal ballad. You know, few industrial elements here and there, but that's kind of it. Very raw, very energetic. Manson's lyrical game, I think, is back on point. His vocal performance game is, you know, really back on point as well. Sort of feels like I'm listening to, you know, old school Manson, not with that, you know, but sort of sans a lot of the bells and whistles that maybe made his 90s and early 2000s material fun. But, you know, all the same, good performance, good recording, good tune all around from Manson here. Let's move on. Injury Reserve. They have a new track out from their forthcoming project, Drive It Like It's Stolen. This new track over here is much more of a catchy track, much more of a banger. God damn it, Austin. Stop freaking texting me. I'm doing this. My phone's over there now. Injury Reserve. New track out, Drive It Like It's Stolen. Project on the way. The track is titled See You Sweat. Now, this is not the somewhat somber and low-key track that they decided to lead off with, you know, which is kind of an interesting way to tease toward an album with your first single or your first, you know, album or mixtape, but with your first single, you know, being as low key as it was. However, it was a very well shot video, and the verses on that track were very personal and were very sad. This new song over here, also low key in a sense, but it's kind of one of those dark, sensual and very sexy pop rap tracks with a good danceable beat. The production is so Neptune's influence. Like, there is a huge Pharrell vibe on this track, and it's a vibe, it's a sound, it's a style they pull off very well. The verses are super smooth, though I wouldn't say that the vocals really kind of jump off of the page. Do they jump off of the beat? Not necessarily, but it's really because they're kind of playing it super cool on this track. I think with multiple listens, it's really kind of when the song wowed me. It sort of slowly pulls you in. It's not so much one of these tracks that just jumps out at you at first. It's kind of one of these smooth, danceable, cooled, laid back, and kind of cerebral rap songs that, you know, I think works. What makes it work is a little bit more in secret than it is obvious, I guess. So definitely do not miss this track. I did love it. I want to give a shout out to the new Iglooghost song. I don't want to say too much about it because I am going to be reviewing this project very soon, but still I wanted to point you guys to another piece of music from Iglooghost, Solar Blade. This guy is one of the most insane producers out right now, continuing to love what he does. Next, Hopsin, The Purge. Believe it or not, I do think the new Hopsin song is dope. It is dope as fuck. Now, granted, it is a little hypocritical because I feel like he kind of was making fun of this sound and this style on his last album. And now he's sort of embracing it a bit on this new single over here. Granted, though, he is doing it on his own terms. And this is not one of those songs from Hopsin where he's trying to preach to you too much. He's trying to shove a bunch of bullshit down your throat. He's not trying to convert you to anything. It's just, you know, one of these lyrically deadly, nasty, aggressive tracks with a good instrumental, very catchy hook with kind of a gang chorus that's like really blood pumping and really exciting. Listen, I know that we think Hopsin is corny, and most of the time he is. I do think some of his early work that he broke with was pretty decent, but overall, you know, a guy whose music generally is very hard to listen to and hard not to laugh at. And I'm not anticipating that his next record is going to be like a classic or anything like that. However, I do have to give credit where it's due, and I do have to say I do think this new song is great. I think the flows are really tight. I think the beat and I think just the rhythm of the track is fantastic. And lyrically, I think the song is kind of funny, you know, and he drops a lot of deadly cutting lines without having to, you know, force an ideology onto his fan base. You know, maybe into the future, he'll be a little bit smarter with how he chooses his words and makes his points and tries to make deeper tracks. And sort of actually reaches a point of true emotional depth. But, you know, until that point, I'm ready to just say this song is decent. This song is good. I'm enjoying this track. Enjoying this new single from Cold Cave as well, titled Glory, linked down there in the description. It's, you know, pretty typical for the gothy synth pop outfit, although I will say that this song has a somewhat airy, New Order-esque new wave vibe to it, a little bit more than usual for them, and it is a very pleasant and a very sweet, you know, synth pop tune. And got to give a shout out to Exploding in Sound Records for releasing a great single from this band, a new album on the way, Big Heet on a Wire. And the song over here is titled Flint, that I wanted to point you guys to. And it's a very wordy, linear art punk song with bustling instrumentation, just really intense vocal performance that I thought was really great. And that's pretty much it, guys. Those are the best tracks that I wanted to shout out to you guys. The Big Heat, Cold Cave, the new Hopsin track, miraculously, that I liked, Iglooghost, Injury Reserve, Marilyn Manson, Travis Scott and Metro Boomin, Rapsody. Check that album out. Do not miss that album. Screamails. And again, those are the best tracks that I wanted to shout out. Again, hit up that Turntable Lab link down there in the description box. Our Amazon Associates link. Couchuchesta and me are going on tour this October. And those are the weekly track roundup tracks. And finally, our sponsor, Marlon over at Gangster Doodles. Hit up the Gangster Doodles book. Also, beyond this dust cover, there's a very cool Gangster Doodles sort of front. And again, hardcover, link down there in the description to pick that thing up. Your boy, your melon is in it, along with a lot of other cool rap cats and characters. And thank you very much for watching. Hope you guys got some good recommendations out of this video as usual. You're the best. Love you, love you, love you. Forever. See you in the next one. Love!